Hi guys, thanks for watching. This is my part 2 build of my diorama, my rally track diorama. As you can see, I've got part 3 of my build. I've drilled 3 holes. That's for my traffic light hole. These 2 holes are going to be for a gantry type design. Now, because on my light I've made, that shoves through this hole, but I've got all this gubbins underneath. So when it's down, it's just below the bottom surface of the board. So what I need to do is to get all them wires hidden, so that this thing still stays flat. I don't want to put any more wood underneath it to pack it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map these lines out. I'm going to send my router down them lines and just cut away a few mil of the surface, so then I can put my light in, then bend my wires underneath, and then run them along. And then I can drill an hole, cut this bit of foam out, because I'm going to slide a 9-volt battery into there, with a bit of extra wiring, so that it'll light it all up. A little square 9-volt battery, and that's going to be the best way to light all this, what I want lighting, because it's a self-contained unit. There's no battery box or connections, or there's just your little connection on top of your battery, and that's it. So that's the simplest and easiest way of lighting this up. And then when you want to turn it off, just pull battery out, just disconnect battery, and that's it really. So what I'll do is I'll crack on with that. I'll go off camera. I'll route to those two lines, and then I'll come back and we'll go for the next stage from there on in. Alright guys, I've routed that out. It's not very good, to say the least really. It's the first time I've used that particular router, other than doing my slot here. I've done it freehand. I really should have set a guard up and done a guard on it. So if I would have set something up here, I could have followed it. You on this flat edge. Against your guard, and then you can pull it tight into guard so that it's dead straight. But seeing as it's underneath, and you're not going to see it. It's just it's all going to be covered up. Don't really matter that much, because once I've put my wires in and gone through here with it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover it over with heat glue. I'm going to fill it up with heat glue, and then just paint over bottom, just paint bottom. So it's don't really matter. So today's video, I'm going to put my wires in. Put my wires in, get my stuff sorted out. Get that filled over, then I'll just paint it with black primer. So now I've put them slots in, I can fit my traffic light. Then I can just bend that wire once. In fact, really I ought to solder a longer wire on there, really, on that red wire. So that's my traffic light down. So when you're sat in that car and you're looking to your left, you'll see that traffic light there just nicely. So now you can see that wire. I can shove that wire down there and get that glued in. Get that glued into that channel. So I'll fire soldering iron up. I'll not need this. So this 70 watt iron. I'll just use that 40 watt. Get that in. Get that wire changed. This was just for test purposes last night, really. This. So my next job is going to be to cut this brass tube next, because this brass tube fits inside this brass box section. So when I'm transporting my diorama, I'm gonna shove that through them holes, just same as this one. Push that through. Solder a positive wire on this side, a negative wire on that side, and then I can just do the same as my traffic light with resistor and that cable, and then I can just so then these tubes become live, so that my sign becomes wireless. Then my start sign will become wireless, so I can wire it up, so it'll be wired up, so it'll work, and then just take it off for travelling, for moving it around, and then slide it back on for when it's on show. So while I'm waiting for that soldering iron to warm up, I'll clean this end. You do need a good array of tools for doing what I do. I've been buying them for years, for a lot of years, when I used to do my railway modelling and my model boats. So I've just collected them over years, keep buying. So that's that. That fits in there. So that contact between this tube and this brass box section, that's going to carry the power through it to my sign, and I'll make my sign on another video. So that's it, guys, for that bit. So for now, I'll drill these and stick these in. I don't really need a base for this, for these tubes like this one, because it's got a because this is going to come through and touch onto the baseboard, so I don't really need to put any of them on. So I'll just find a drill bit for this, so I can own the nose out. Handy tip: if you can't find a drill bit, or if you haven't got any calipers to measure how big a drill bit you need, or if you're not bothered about being too massively engineered, if you find a drill bit, finger size it. So you just feel between your finger and your thumb the size of the two sizes together. If they feel like level, and it's roughly set right size. This drill bit is a, yeah, right. This drill bit's a 5mm drill bit, and I know that that tube, when I measured it the other day, is 4.88. So, but just to make sure it is going to be right, all you have to do is drill a piece of wood. I've drilled that piece of timber, this piece of ply even, with this drill bit, and it goes through, and it's quite tight. So that's okay. It's not straight because I've used an hand drill. I've drilled these with a pillar drill. With a pillar drill, you'll always get a parallel drill to your material, if your material's level on your bed of your drill. So all I have to do is just tease that through there, that one and that one, and then I'll drill. I can drill into this now, this foam, and get my wires in. So that's drilled there now. So I can shove this brass tube in front bottom. I could glue that in. That'll glue in, and then that sign will slide onto there like that. So that's one pillar. That's how it's going to look. So then I just need to make my board across for my sign and all the rest of it. So I'll just change that. I'll change that cable on end of me resistor. So now I don't need me helping hands because it's all held in place for me. So all I have to do is just warm that with soldering iron, put that in my scraps jar, and have a look in my scraps jar, and I've got a piece of red cable now, just right length. Now this is going to be, this cable's 22 AWG, like that black cable. Just bear that back. I can dip that in my flux. Once you've fluxed it, you can tin it with your soldering iron. So that's now ready, prepared to solder to that resistor. I don't need all that leg on there. All that, the leg's really a bit of a waste of time, all that. Just cut a bit off. So all I have to do, dip that back in flux, put a bit of solder on the iron, keep my hand steady, and then solder that cable to that. So that's now that's soldered to me resistor. I can bend that resistor down, bend that, can push that into my bed, and I can shove that wire into my bed. Now there's no need to insulate that because it's going next to there's no joints next to it. So I can find my glue gun up, and I can just fill that full of heat glue. So what I'll do now, while I'm waiting for that to warm up, I can cut a section of this out, and then for my battery to go in. Just with a decentish scalpel knife, or any sort of a knife I can come across, and just cut this expanding film out. That cuts really easy. I can go across. Come back up. So I'm going to leave a good thickness there for the for me rock face. Just get a pair of pliers now. I can just start pulling that out. Like that. I'll just pull this out this way. So that's why I didn't bother. That's why I didn't bother filling the end over with this decorator's filler. So that, because I knew that that's where I wanted to put my battery. I think that's deep enough now, that to stick a battery in there. So what I'll do is I'll just cut this glue off. As you can hear, it's quite hard, quite tough, that glue to cut. But once it's coming, it's when you get knife underneath it and it's starting it off, it's alright. Right, so that is now, that's as clean as I want it really. I'm not too fussed about getting it much cleaner. So I can just shove my wires through. Really, I ought to go and get my 9-volt battery and just check that, make sure it'll fit in that gap. I'll be back in a second. Right, so my glue gun's hot enough now. So what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of glue in there. I'll not come all the way up to end because I need to put my other 2 wires in for that other panel. I can just pull that one tight a bit. Pull that black one down a little bit there. So while that goes off, I have to hold it until it goes off. So I don't want to be putting it on my bench and then not being able to lift it back off. So what I'll do is, when I've finished it and it comes to painting it, I'll just black prime. I'll paint it all with black primer. And then that'll cover all that up nicely, and you'll not see where I've made a mess at routing it out. Yeah, that's off. That's gone off enough that now. So what I can do now is, when that's on there, I'll just connect these wires up, and then you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see that working. So this resistor is for a 12-volt system. So anything that's 12-volt maximum. So really you can put a 12-volt. You can go lower than 12 volts, which this little 9-volt battery is plenty of power really for an LED. And that 9-volt battery is a little bit bigger than what I thought it was. So I'm going to have to cut me a little bit bigger. Really I could put a switch in here as well, so I can turn it on and off. So I'll leave these wires long because I'll need to put connectors on. And there we go. That's off a 12. That's off a 9-volt battery. And that's battery in hole, which is not big enough, but I can make it bigger easy enough. Not far off. So that's that. Right, we've got a bit of this green LED off a 9 volts. It flashes intermittent. So you've got red and yellow flashes constantly. Green gives a few flashes and then stops. And then gives a few more flashes. Which I didn't know that was going to happen, but looks alright. There must be not quite enough power with that little 9-volt battery to permanently flash. That LED, the green LED. Well, it don't matter. I quite like that as it is. So I'll just cut a bit more of this out. That's been little batteries stuck in a hole now, stood up. Now I just need to clean these holes out. Put my barrier in when it's chuffing after I've cleaned them out. I just have to paint it now. I can paint that and get it something like, not paint it yet, make my sign up, put my sign in, and then once I've finished my building of it, I can finish it with painting. So that's it for today, guys, for this video, guys. I'll install these tubes and that in the next one. Oh, it's flashing all the time now, that green light, that green LED. Oh, it stopped. We're going again. Now people of the Mark 1 Escort, Lady Stobart Rally Escort, that looks good on there. Right guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and we'll get cracked on. Thanks guys, bye.